This is WTVM News Leader 9. Sponsored by Montlick and Associates, Columbus Injury Attorneys.
Our chaplain and our ministry feel that that's a little too dangerous for someone to be sleeping out at the element.
The Safe House doing its part to help those who need shelter from the frigid cold temperatures. And new details tonight about Lee County's first homicide of the year. Investigators saying the crime might have been financially motivated.
And it was a cold Sunday across the Chattahoochee Valley. What's in store for your work week, though? I'll have your forecast ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Rosalind Giles. In our top story tonight, we are learning more about a shooting in Salem that left one man dead and a woman injured Friday night. Rosanna Smith has this update from Lee County.
The Lee County Sheriff's Office continues to investigate its first homicide of the year. Right now it appears this shooting stemmed from a dispute over money. The Lee County Sheriff's Office tells us just after 10 Friday night, deputies responded to a shooting here at this home along Lee County Road 246. 24-year-old David Brown was found shot to death in the yard, and a woman believed to be Brown's girlfriend was suffering from a gunshot wound to the leg. Within an hour, authorities identified 38-year-old Preston Ferrier as a suspect. He was arrested and is currently being held at the Lee County Detention Center on a charge of felon in possession of a firearm. Additional charges are expected.
This was not a random act. These individuals were acquainted with each other prior to this occurring. Mr. Ferrier lived a short distance from Mr. Brown's residence. In our view, one homicide is too many. We would prefer that, of course, that we do not have these types of crimes to investigate, but unfortunately that's an occurrence that does take place.
A bond has not been set for Ferrier at this time, but it is expected to be set sometime tomorrow morning, and we will continue to keep you updated on this case. Rosanna Smith in Lee County, WTVM News Leader 9.
The Lee County Sheriff's Office is asking anyone who may have more information about this case to contact them. In Columbus, that is, police investigating a shooting. A 22-year-old man showed up at the hospital early Saturday morning. He was taken by private vehicle after being shot at Buena Vista Road and Eastwood Drive. He has been treated and released. A 2000 Honda Accord was also damaged during the shooting. Police did not give a suspect description. Scary moments for a woman at a Columbus hotel. According to police reports, the 34-year-old woman was punched and threatened with a knife around 10:15 Saturday night. She was in the lobby at the Econo Lodge on Victory Drive. Two masked men took her money and cell phone worth $1,000 total. Both had on dark pants and jackets. They have a slender build and stand about 5'9". Well, it certainly felt like old man winter today at his best. How long will the cold weather stick around? Let's check in with Elizabeth to see what you can expect tonight.
Thanks, Rosalind. Yeah, very cold Sunday across the Chattahoochee Valley. Hopefully you bundled up because temperatures were in the 40s, but with that northwest breeze coming in hot. So we had 10 to about 15 miles per hour wind speeds across the area. Things are feeling even colder than the actual temperature. So in Columbus, 42 is what it is, but it feels like 35. So very cool, very cloudy, and that's really the case across the entire Chattahoochee Valley with those wind chills just about 10 degrees colder than the actual temperature. Remember, the wind chill is what it feels like on your skin outside. So we're going to keep the clouds around for a little bit longer tonight. They will start to clear during the overnight hours. We'll get plenty of sunshine in here for your Monday. But for the rest of this evening, it's going to be cold, and we're going to see a very cold start to your Monday. We're going to talk 20s for the next couple of mornings. All of that and the rest of your work week forecast coming up. Rosalind.
All right. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. A Columbus warming shelter opening its doors for the homeless tonight. News Leader 9's Arisha Jones visited the Safe House today, where they are preparing for a few cold nights. Arisha?
Well, Rosalind, when I visited the Safe House this afternoon, people were already calling to see if the shelter will be open as a way for them to get out of the cold. They say they have enough room for 200 people.
Maybe about 15 cots upstairs.
The Safe House at Rose Hill Methodist Church is once again opening as a warming station for those who need to get out of the cold weather.
They can come in, they can get something to eat. We fellowship with them, play games with them, and then we set the cots up.
About 60 cots will fill this room, and plenty more will be placed in other parts of the shelter and church on an as-needed basis. At any time, Safe House workers will be ready to receive anyone who knocks on their doors for help.
There's no specific time because some people be out there and think they can handle it, and at 10, 11 o'clock they'll say, no, I can't handle it, so then they'll come in. 2
years ago this month in Columbus, Paul Gardner, a homeless man, died from hypothermia after sleeping out in the bitter cold weather. His body was found close by a homeless shelter, and the Safe House wants to protect anyone they can from the same incident.
Even though it may be trying on us with us working long hours and everything like that, it's to prevent a death. And that's the most important thing, to prevent another person from dying on these streets in Columbus.
With more guests to accommodate now that the warming station is open, donations are coming in. Blankets, tissue, coffee, and food will help the shelter get through the next few days. And you don't have to be homeless to use the shelter. Safe House says those who don't have working heat in their home are also welcome to come. Back to you, Rosalind.
All right, good information there, Arisha. Thank you. Now, Safe House plans to close the warming station on Tuesday at 2:30, depending on the temperatures for the rest of the week. Now to a horrific crash out of Atlanta dealing with a car. Now, police say the driver lost control of the car, sending it flying over an overpass. The 3 passengers inside dropped nearly 50 feet over the side of the wall in Midtown Atlanta. The 3 men inside the car were killed when it landed upside down in the middle of I-75. Police say the 3 men were last seen leaving a party just before the crash. Officials say it appears that the driver took the curve too fast and went straight over the concrete barrier. The FBI says it has tracked down a woman linked to at least 6 jewelry store robberies. They arrested 24-year-old Abigail Kemp and another suspect in Georgia. Investigators believe Kemp robbed jewelry stores in 5 states within 8 months. She got away with more than $4 million in jewelry during the most recent heist. Kemp's first court appearance is in Atlanta on tomorrow. The national championship is just one day away. Paul Stockman joins us live from Arizona with the very latest. And Paul, what's going on out there right now?
Well, right now, fans are still continuing to show up as they get ready for tomorrow's game. And we actually just down the street, I don't know, you might not be able to hear it, but there is a concert going on for the fans that are here. And fans have come from all over to see this national championship game, including a couple that we caught up with from Columbus.
Roll Tide!
Rick and Barbara Smith made the 1,700-mile trek to Phoenix from Columbus. They certainly weren't going to miss an opportunity to see the Tide play for a national championship.
Very first time to come to something like this, though. Never been to the national championship game before. It's a great opportunity. It's a great game. It's a rivalry, but it's a great opportunity. And being around everybody and being here in this venue is outstanding.
They've had season tickets in Tuscaloosa for 15 years, but a national championship game is a new experience.
There's just so much more to do, and the other is more routine to us, where this is something new and different, and I've never been here before, so it's great for me.
If Alabama wins tomorrow night, it will be historic for the Tide, and something Rick and Barbara would love to be a part of.
Getting to stand up there and say that now Coach Saban has tied Coach Bryant for the number of national championships, so that's, it's that kind of experience is just great. And to be around all these people that have traveled this far for the common effort. Yeah, it's neat.
And like any fan, they're looking forward to a potential big night for Alabama.
A victory, number one, that's the most, but watching the competition itself, I mean, it's going to be a great game. 2 really, really good teams. And when you start putting all that talent on the field together, it's just going to be an outstanding opportunity to watch.
Of course, the whole experience, but my favorite part of any game is Rammer Jammer, when we get to sing at the end of that game.
We'll see tomorrow night if the Alabama fans will get a chance to sing Rammer Jammer one more time this season. Now, we've met a lot of interesting fans around here. In fact, we met one guy earlier today that has been to an Alabama game. He's been to more than 400 Alabama football games, including 8. This will be his 8th national championship, and we're going to hear more from him coming up later tonight. Rosalind, I mean, I don't even know. I got to wonder how much money that's got to cost, right?
400 games, you said? That's unbelievable.
It is crazy, very crazy. I don't know how he can afford it, but hey, you know, maybe he can cut off a little, you know, a little slice for us, right?
Exactly. Well, Paul, a lot of excitement surrounding this game. We'll check back in with you a little bit later. And we will be airing a National Championship special tomorrow night starting at 6. Be sure to tune in for that. And we'll have more about the National Championship just ahead in sports. Well, the stakes continue to rise in the Powerball drawing after no winner in last night's drawing came forward again. We'll have more on that.
And here's your Colony Bank Fishing Game forecast for your Monday. Best times to get out will be 2:20 in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. For more on that, visit WTVM.com. After the break, they'll have a full check of your workweek forecast. Stay tuned.
Coverage you can count on. This is WTVM News Leader 9.
You still have a chance. No one matched all 6 numbers in Saturday's nearly $950 million Powerball jackpot. There were several match 5 winners, though. The numbers in the drawing are 32, 16, 19, 57, 34, and the Powerball is 13. The jackpot for next Wednesday's drawing is now $1.3 billion, the biggest in U.S. history. Powerball is sold in 44 states, Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Do we have a number of how many tickets were sold? Because
I haven't heard, but I'm sure it's like way, way, way up there.
And I can't even imagine. I might even go buy a ticket with this $1
billion
billion
hoping
Powerball.
They wouldn't have to show up for work the next day, including some of our coworkers.
Exactly. Well, no luck here, but maybe the $1 billion one.
We'll see. Well, for here, we certainly had a cold morning, as you suggested we would.
We did. Not only was it cold, it was windy, so it made it feel even colder than it actually was. And the bad news is I don't like it, so I'm calling it bad news. It's going to be even worse tomorrow morning. At the bus stop, temperatures are going to be in the 20s. Let's see what's trending in your forecast. Hey, don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest weather, pictures, and whatnot. But tomorrow, it's going to be cold. 20s at the bus stop tomorrow all the way through Wednesday. So we're going to keep those cold temperatures around through the next few days. So we're going to stay under 30 for those morning low temperatures. Remember, your low temperature happens right in the morning time, right before that sun comes up. So as you're heading to work, as you're taking the kids to school, and as they're heading to the bus stop. So make sure they are bundling up. Maybe sit out with them in the car. Make sure they're warm, because it's just going to be very, very cold. And don't forget about your pets and your plants. Temperatures will warm up going into the weekend because we have our next chance of rain coming in Friday through Sunday. So something to be watching. But for the next few days, we're going to see sunny and dry conditions. High pressure will move in from the west and really keep things dry and quiet. But again, things are going to be cold. So looking at clouds right now, but they are starting to move out to the east, and we'll continue to see that clearing line that's cutting through Alabama now. We're going to get the clear skies in here tonight and into your Monday. That's helping things get even colder again for tonight going into your Monday. Currently in the 40s, even 30s for a few folks, coming in at 37 in Alexander City, 42 in Tuskegee, as well as Columbus, 43 in Fort Benning. But remember, it's feeling even colder than that. It's feeling like the 30s for most folks out there because of that northwest breeze. Big change from yesterday. We had that cold air arrive in the overnight hours and took things down about 15, almost 20 degrees colder than what we saw last night. And again, with the clearing of the skies, we're going to get even colder going into your Sunday. These are your future feel-like temperatures. So we're expecting things to be in the upper 20s for temperatures, but when you factor in the wind speed, this is what it's going to feel like tomorrow morning. In the low 20s, mid 20s for some. So again, just almost dangerously cold conditions tomorrow morning, and really each morning after that through Thursday. So your forecast for tomorrow, it's going to start off freezing, sunny though, all the way through the day. Low 40s by lunchtime. We'll top out near 50 degrees tomorrow afternoon, and really each day after that. So very cold mornings in the 20s and temperatures in the 50s all the way through Thursday afternoon. You do notice sunshine will take us all the way through Thursday, so most of the work week looking nice in that sense. There's that rain coming in, though, Friday into the weekend. Right now, the best chance of rain comes in on Saturday. Yesterday, it was Friday, so I remember saying this, Ross, it's a little unsettled weather pattern past Thursday, so we'll have to get a better handle on that throughout the week.
We'll have to deal with the cold temperatures for the next couple of days, and then the rain possible chance comes in.
Yeah, hopefully we can keep those quite separated.
Yeah, we need to. All right, thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Well, coming up tomorrow is the big day as the Alabama Crimson Tide will play for the national championship. That's where we find our Paul Stockman live there in Glendale, Arizona.
It's certainly going to be a big game coming up tomorrow, but heck, it's going to be the 15th game for these two clubs. How are they handling some of the fatigue that comes with a long season? We'll hear from the coaches coming up after the break.
WTVM Sports Leader 9, Dave Platter.
It's almost that time. After 12 regular season games, a conference title contest, a national semifinal matchup, the Alabama Crimson Tide's about 26 hours away from the biggest game of the season, their national championship showdown with Clemson. Paul Stockman's in Glendale, Arizona, and on the eve of this biggest game of the year. Paul.
Yeah, you know what, Dave, you mentioned all those games. I mean, it's going to total up to 15 total games on the year. I mean, that just makes me tired thinking about it. I had an old coach that used to tell me, tired is all in your head, and I used to respond with, yeah, it's in my head and in my legs and in my arms. It's very tiring to do a ton of work, and especially when you're playing a game like football, very physical indeed. Both of these teams going into their 15th contest tomorrow night, so fatigue certainly can play a factor, and especially when you're playing a physical brand of football like Alabama plays, it can be really tough to get past that and to try to get over that. But Coach Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney have said that their players have kept focused on the task at hand and kept focused on the prize as opposed to the fatigue.
You know, you kind of try to get the players to focus on doing the things that they need to do to accomplish their goals and not focus so much on how they feel, because I do think it's a long season for them. They are young players, but our guys have done a really good job of sort of using the rest time that they have, that when we are, you know, practicing and preparing, their focus has been good.
We were able to really get our team physically and mentally and emotionally kind of, you know, geared back up, and I think the timing of this has been excellent, because it's almost like we got ready for the opener again, because you had a little more time than you normally do, and this is kind of the next game.
And, of course, this next game coming up here in just a little over 24 hours. And these two teams, you know, tired goes out the window, I think, when you're playing a game like this. You know, both these guys ready to get a chance at a national championship. For Bama, could be 16 in 2016. Of course, Clemson looking for the first one in 25 years, Dave. We'll see just how tired these guys may be coming up tomorrow when they kick the game off.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. And you know what? We're going to get you ready for tomorrow night's national title showdown. It's with Crimson versus Clemson, the road to the championship. I'll be here, of course, and Paul's out in Arizona. We're going to take a look at how both teams earned their spot in the title game and what to look for. Crimson versus Clemson, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on WTVM Sports Leader 9. All right, NFL playoffs. 6 below at kickoff in Minneapolis. Chill, 21 below wind chill. Oh, yeah. Seattle trailing the Vikings 9-0 fourth quarter. Bad snap. Russell Wilson forced to scramble back 10 yards on the bad snap. Scoops it, gets back up, rolls right, and finds his man Tyler Lockett. And Lockett takes off. He is finally hauled down on the 4-yard line. And that sets up the TD. Wilson to his favorite receiver, Doug Baldwin, and the Seahawks are on the board. And then the Vikings help out. Teddy Bridgewater, the short pass to Adrian Peterson. Peterson looking to pick up the first down. He does, but then the ball is stripped. The Seahawks recover, which would lead to a go-ahead field goal. Well, the Vikings, they have a chance to win it in the final seconds. Blair Walsh with a 27-yard chip shot, and the former Georgia Bulldog misses wide left. The Seahawks celebrate, and the Vikings cannot believe it. Seattle wins it 10-9. In the other NFC wildcard game, the Green Bay Packers have just gone to the half. They lead it 17-11 over the Washington Redskins. Now, late last night in Cincinnati, former Alabama quarterback A.J. McCarron with a chance to be the hero. The Bengals coming back from a 15-0 deficit versus the Steelers. McCarron to A.J. Green, leaping catch and touchdown, and the Bengals have a 16-15 lead. Landry Jones in for the injured Ben Roethlisberger. First play after the kickoff, he gets picked off by Vontaze Burfict. And then first play after the interception, the Bengals give it right back. Jeremy Hill up the middle, has the ball stripped. It is recovered by the Steelers, and they still have life. Well, Big Ben shaking off a shoulder injury, back in there. His pass to Antonio Brown over the middle, incomplete. But Burfict goes from hero to GOAT with the personal foul. That's 15 yards. And then when Adam Jones argues and bumps the ref, that's 15 more yards, and that sets up a chip shot field goal. And Chris Boswell delivering from 35 yards out. The Steelers, the improbable comeback. The Bengals give it away, 18-16, your final score. Football is never boring.
That was one crazy game.
It's been a crazy weekend. It's going to be a crazy night tomorrow night,
Oh,
too.
yeah, can't wait for tomorrow night. Thanks, Dave. And get us ready for tonight, Elizabeth.
Yeah, not too bad this evening. Tomorrow morning, though, is going to be the big story. We're really going to start to cool down. Temperatures are going to be below freezing. We're going to be in the 20s for most folks, but it's going to feel even colder than that. So low 20s across most of the area. So make sure you're bundling up the kids or take them to the bus stop yourself and let them sit in the car because it's just going to be a cold morning tomorrow.
That's a good point. Not a bad idea to take them to the bus stop because you don't want them standing out there. They could get frostbitten, what have you.
Yeah, it's just way too cold. We're not used to it.
Yeah, I know. Minnesota. I'm not. Nobody wants to be in Minneapolis at 6 below.
Well, you've been in the South so long, you shouldn't be used to it now anyway.
Nah, I kind of gave it up.
Of course. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight at 11.